Hello, grade 11s. This is obviously not nice not having you here, so we're back to making videos to do some duvet school at home. So in today's lesson, we're starting with animal classification or animal diversity, and you can actually go into your textbook and follow along if you like. Since there's so much diversity amongst animals, like we studied in plants previously, animals are also classified into different groups. And they are grouped together in groups that we call phyla or a phylum, that's a singular. And they are grouped together either according to their similarities or then differences. So we're going to study just the similarities, and we're going to look at 4 things in their structure in which they are different, and that helps us to classify them. The first difference is the body symmetry we find amongst animals. Some animals actually have no fixed body shape. This photo is of an organism called an amoeba. So it's almost like a ball of jelly with a membrane around, and it moves just wherever it wants to. So its shape is constantly changing. That type of body symmetry is called asymmetry, or we say that the animal is asymmetric. Here is an amoeba under a microscope. In real life, the maximum size of an amoeba is about 1 centimeter, so it's a really odd looking, funny little animal. When you look at an animal like this, and a lot of them live in the sea obviously, you find that it has a radial symmetry. In other words, you can make any vertical section through this animal. Vertical means from top to bottom in length, and that will give you a mirror image. Now don't confuse that with a third type of symmetry, which we call bilateral symmetry. Animals with a bilateral symmetry can only be cut in one specific way down the middle from top to bottom or vertically to produce a mirror image. The second criterion we're looking at is the number of tissue layers that you find during the embryonic development of that organism. Now don't be scared. In your textbook you'll find a picture like this. As an embryo develops from a zygote, so which means when an organism develops from conception after fertilization, that little embryo, as it grows, it forms different layers called germ layers. Now each of these germ layers will actually develop further into different tissue layers, and each of these tissue layers is going to give rise to various organs and structures in the body of this organism. So some organisms are called diploblastic because when they develop embryonically, they develop from only 2 layers, hence the word diplo. Other organisms are called triploblastic because they develop from 3 layers. So triplo means 3. You can see in the picture on the left, the diploblast organism has a blue layer called the ectoderm and another layer on the inside called the endoderm. So it's diploblastic because it's got 2 layers, the endo and the ectoderm. Triploblastic organisms is mostly complex organisms, and they've got 3 layers. They've got an ectoderm and an endoderm, but they've also got that green layer in the middle, which is called the mesoderm, which is going to develop into very complex organisms. So like you don't have to know all these details, just the words ecto and endo and mesoderm, and then label only these pictures on page 276. Okay, so the third basic distinction between the different types of animal bodies we get is the type of body cavity, if any, an animal has. So the presence or absence of a body cavity will also differentiate between different animals. Animals that have no body cavity between the digestive tract and the outer body wall, in other words, the body is just filled with cells, are called acoelomate, like flatworms, the picture on the left here. Coelomate organisms, on the other hand, have a cavity, a body cavity, that's filled with a fluid. The cavity is called a coelom, and that's why the animal is called coelomate. So you can see that in the pictures in the middle and on the right-hand side, and that is more common in complex organisms. In more complex organism, obviously like this picture of a chicken, same as in the human body, we have what we call a through gut. So the tube within the body that is known as the digestive tract always will start with a mouth and then ends in an anus, or in the case of a bird it's a cloaca, and that is called a through gut. Now the presence of a through gut is obviously what distinguishes complex animals from simpler organisms, and that is our fourth criteria for classifying organisms. Okay, so now that we've done all the information, this is what you're going to do. You're going to copy down or print, if you've got a printer, this table into your summary book, and then complete it using the information from the textbook and that was shared in this video.